The night Michael Carter finally admitted the truth to himself was quiet in a way that felt almost cruel. The streets of Cedar Ridge, a small town tucked into the rolling edges of Colorado, lay empty beneath a pale winter moon, and his apartment echoed with the sound of his own breathing. He had spent years telling himself that patience was a virtue, that love was something meant to be endured before it was fulfilled, but loneliness has a way of peeling away lies. He was a lonely man who could not wait anymore to give himself fully to the woman he loved, not out of hunger alone, but out of a deep, aching need to feel alive again. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the power of love to heal even the most broken hearts, take a moment right now to like this video, share it with someone who might need hope, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps stories like this reach the people who need them most. Michael had not always been this way. Once he was known as the reliable one, the man who showed up early and left late, who fixed things for neighbors without being asked and never complained. After his parents passed within a year of each other, something inside him folded inward. Grief did not shatter him loudly, it settled into him like dust, coating his days until everything felt muted. He worked as a night supervisor at a distribution warehouse outside Denver, a job that kept him busy but isolated, surrounded by motion and machines rather than people. Friendships faded as months turned into years, and romantic hopes became quiet thoughts he buried under routine. Then came Sarah Whitman. She arrived in Cedar Ridge during a spring that smelled of rain and new beginnings, renting the small blue house across from Michael's building. She volunteered at the local church food pantry and worked part-time as a physical therapy assistant at the county clinic. Sarah carried her own shadows, though she wore them gently. A failed marriage had left her cautious, but not bitter, hopeful, but careful. She believed in rebuilding slowly, brick by brick, the way faith teaches after loss. Their connection began without drama. Michael noticed her first in the laundry room, folding clothes with calm precision, humming softly. Weeks later, they began exchanging smiles, then shared nods that turned into lingering glances. There were no dramatic confessions, no sudden sparks, just a steady warmth that surprised Michael with its persistence. Over time, they began spending evenings walking through town, attending community events, and volunteering together at the pantry. Their bond grew in shared silences as much as in shared moments, and Michael found himself opening parts of his heart he had sealed for years. But love did not erase his loneliness overnight. Michael struggled with the fear that he was behind in life, that his longing made him weak. He wanted Sarah not just emotionally but completely, with the kind of closeness that affirms existence itself. Yet he hesitated, worried about crossing a line too soon or losing what they had built. His nights became restless, filled with thoughts of her presence, her warmth, and the life that seemed just out of reach. Sarah sensed his tension, though she never pressed him. Her own journey had taught her patience, but it had also taught her honesty with herself. She wanted connection too, not as an escape, but as a shared promise of healing. Their love matured in that quiet understanding, growing heavier with unspoken needs and mutual respect. The turning point came during a summer power outage that swept through Cedar Ridge after a violent storm. The town went dark, and Michael's apartment, already sparse, felt cavernous. Sarah knocked on his door with a flashlight and a shy smile, checking to see if he was okay. They sat together in the dim glow, listening to rain fade into calm. In that stillness, Michael felt something inside him shift. The loneliness he had carried for so long rose up, not as despair, but as a call to stop waiting, to stop denying himself the fullness of love out of fear. What he realized was simple and terrifying. Love was not meant to be postponed until one felt perfect or whole. It was the very thing that could make a person whole again. Michael understood that his desire was not something to be ashamed of. It was human, tender, and rooted in trust. The challenge was not the longing itself, but the courage to honor it responsibly, with care and respect. Over the following weeks, Michael changed in subtle ways. He spoke more openly about his past, about the nights that felt endless and the regrets that lingered. Sarah listened, offering understanding without judgment. Their connection deepened, moving from comfort to intimacy of the soul. They prayed together, volunteered together, and dreamed out loud about futures that once felt impossible. Michael began to see himself not as a lonely man waiting for permission to live, but as someone worthy of love in all its forms. The true struggle was internal. Michael battled the voice that told him he was asking for too much, that he should remain grateful for emotional closeness alone. But another voice, quieter yet stronger, reminded him that love is meant to be lived fully, not half-held. He learned that wanting closeness did not diminish the purity of his intentions, it honored the bond they shared. As autumn arrived, painting Cedar Ridge in golden red, their relationship reached a place of calm certainty. There was no rush, no desperation, just an understanding that they were ready to step forward together. Michael's loneliness no longer felt like an endless void, but like a chapter that had taught him compassion and patience. The man who once waited in silence had learned that timing is not about waiting endlessly, but about recognizing when the heart is ready. Just before the ending, take a moment to comment below and share your thoughts or experiences about love, patience, and second chances. Your words might help someone else feel less alone. Near the end of that year, Michael stood by his apartment window watching snow begin to fall, feeling a peace he had not known in a long time. His life was not perfect, but it was real, grounded, and filled with purpose. He had learned that loneliness does not disappear when another person enters your life. It softens when you allow yourself to be seen and loved without fear. The connection he shared with Sarah was not about urgency or impulse, but about trust, commitment, and mutual healing. If this story touched your heart, if it made you feel seen or reminded you that love can arrive even after long seasons of waiting, please like this video, share it with someone who needs encouragement, and subscribe to the channel. Your engagement helps keep these stories alive and reaching hearts across the world. Michael's journey was never about rushing toward desire, but about understanding it, respecting it, and embracing love when the time was right. In a quiet town in the United States, a lonely man learned that waiting ends not when patience runs out, but when courage finally steps forward.